What is up, legends? Welcome back to Legend TV. I'm really sorry about the first video that I uploaded. It was subpar. The audio was shite. It was. I don't really know what actually happened. I thought I had lost a section of audio, but apparently it was still there, and I don't know how. But I thought I'd originally lost it, and um, I re-recorded that section of audio again, and apparently it just blended together, and you got what you got. It sounded like crap. You could hear me just, saying the same things, like very similar things, over the top of myself. It just, yeah, no, it wasn't good. And there were a few segments where my voice was kind of clipped out and didn't sound right, but anyway, that's not what this video is about. I want to direct your attention to my brand new project, my new creation that I've more or less finished. I've got a few extra ideas that I want to try out, but for the most part, this is exactly what the ship's going to look like from the exterior. If you couldn't guess already, or if you didn't find this video from the Facebook upload that I made, this is the Imperial cutter from Elite Dangerous. Now, essentially, I woke up yesterday, just like any other normal day. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, it was a great bloody morning, and then some bloody bastard decided to go and ruin it with his Facebook post. He decided that he would like to share his beautiful ship that he earned on Elite Dangerous, and you know what? He had the bloody cheek to try and tell us that he would just put those photos up there on the Space Engineers Xbox community page just to give everybody some wonderful inspiration. Bloody well, he did it. He gave me the inspiration and sent me down a dark path of trying to recreate that ship in Space Engineers, and by George, I think he got it. Ah. Now, obviously, there's a few different ideas that I've thrown into this ship and onto this ship just to try and adhere to the limitations of Space Engineers. You'll see me basically just running back and forth here, trying to get the landing gear to work. This is the tail end of the 10-hour stream that I recorded the entirety of this build. Well, almost the entirety of this build, considering that I've got to do a few more things to the interior of the ship to just satisfy myself, basically. As you can see, we've pretty much got the, well, as you will see, you haven't seen it yet, top-down view. Pretty much nailed it, considering we're working with square blocks. Yeah, that's the biggest part about this ship, was that just trying to negotiate around all of these very square blocks, trying to make what in Elite Dangerous is an actual just very smooth, almost like a private jet looking vehicle with a slight fighter style to it. It has a lot of nice go fast lines and very menacing appeal to it, while also maintaining a very nice luxurious appearance to it, if that makes sense. It's just Google it right now. I'll let you take the time. Go ahead and pause this. Google the images of the Elite Dangerous Imperial cutter. You won't be disappointed. It's a gorgeous ship. I did change the wings because the wings didn't quite fit onto this ship in Space Engineers. It just didn't look right. So I kind of opted for similar shaped wings while styling them similar to the Saber out of Halo Reach. For the most part, I've got the cluster of thrusters at the rear positioned correctly. We are missing 2 thrusters at the rear. I just really wanted to make it look more streamlined at the back. Like I said, I really wanted to just kind of add my own flair to this. Um, Sorry, I didn't say that in this video, but I said it during my stream. Um, so yeah, just making a few exceptions here and there. For the most part, the shape of the ship, the size of the ship, and everything is uh, the cutter, the Imperial cutter. Just with a few different design choices here and there, just to adhere to space engineers as well as my own tastes, pretty much. The interior of the ship is something you'll see soon, but as you can see there, it's very similarly shaped from the top-down view. The rear of that ship started out as a massive block. Like, I basically just built a massive block, placed uh, the friggin' boosters, the thrusters, where I needed them to be to look good. And then I basically just chiseled away that whole block just to essentially get what I had. Like, chiseled away and then put slopes here and there. And then you have what we have here. Started out with the cockpit. And as you'll see here, we do have retractable landing gear, which I was so excited to actually do because it's the first time I've bothered trying to do that kind of thing. And just to have pulled it off, I was happy. But yeah, so basically we started building the cockpit, and I was just looking at the ship, and I'm just like, this looks disgusting. It doesn't look anything like the ship. So instead of giving up, I basically just stuck to my guns, built a massive block, because sometimes when I can't think of how to build something, it's a lot easier for me to chisel away, if that makes sense. Like, try and sculpt what I need out of a big block instead of building something out of nothing, if that makes sense. I don't know if anybody else builds like that, but if you do, let me know, because I'd like to know if I'm not the only one out there just building massive bricks to chisel them away and make what you see here. But yeah, that was basically the build process for the rear of the ship. That's how I managed to build it. For the most part, what you see here, the interior of the ship is pretty much the same. I've only made a subtle difference, and that being a big blue stripe going down the center of the ship, and I've turned the control seats, buttons, and that hump blue as well. And all of the doors have been turned blue. Essentially just to give it a bit of warmth, because it was feeling a little bit white and clinical. And as you can see here, this is the cryo bay and the engine right at the back, the engine room. I'm thinking about removing the cryo bay and just replacing them with passenger seats. I was going to deck this ship out for survival, however, I couldn't really put a med bay in here. It was like the ship is too small. There was a few other things that just wouldn't fit, so I'm opting for more of a visually pleasing kind of ship rather than something that's actually going to be functional. This doesn't have any weapons on it. It is going to basically just be a luxury space liner, I guess you could call it, because it's not an airliner. Luxury air... I don't know. I don't know what you would call it. Basically just like a personal aircraft. So yeah. We're just going to have a little bit of a walk over it right now. Get a bit of a scale reference. It is a rather large ship. It's not quite a fighter size. It's basically a large fighter. This is using all large blocks. I was going to build it with small blocks, but I ran into a few problems, like not being able to have the ladder, the ramp and all that kind of stuff, and not being able to have the big control seats and all of that kind of stuff. So I opted to go for the large blocks, which I thought was going to make the ship look worse, but honestly, I'm glad that I just sucked it up and did it, because it doesn't look horrible. I would have liked to have had the cone part for the front of the ship, for the cockpit, to have been more smooth and not have that jagged edge on it. However, it didn't having all of the blocks basically just go up in a massive ramp, it made the front of the ship just look really big, and it didn't look like it was sloped back nice enough. So pulling it back like this really did just make it look a million times better. Also, if you guys are interested in seeing the build process for this ship, I'm more than happy to go ahead and try and edit the 10-hour stream into like maybe 2 half-hour videos for YouTube. It's not something that I really want to do, but if it's something that you guys want to see, then I'm 100% willing to do it. So let me know if that's something you want to see down in the comments. Other than that, I'll probably just leave it at this. But yeah. God, I just love the way this thing looks. I get so carried away with it. But yeah, I'm really happy that... I'm really just hoping that this upload goes good, because that last upload was horrible. I've also got a Halo 2 and Halo 4 video coming up if you guys are interested in that. And ooh, bit of a bit of a hard landing there. I'm actually really happy that I went for the blast door with the hinge there, because it acts like a bit of a suspension sometimes. It can spring up and reset, so it makes it nice for landing on awkward surfaces like this. God, I love it. But yeah, I was also thinking that maybe it'll be cool to have like a chase with my Odin and this. Like if maybe we had like a high value target on this ship, and then one of my mates was flying this ship and I was flying the Odin, and the Odin had to try and hunt this down or snipe it out of the sky with its gravity cannon. But you know, I don't know. Maybe if you guys want to see that, I'll see about working on that too. But yeah, that's pretty much all for this ship. I don't want to bore you guys too much with saying too much of the same thing, so I think I'll leave it here. And God, doesn't that just look gorgeous? Okay. So guys, if you like this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and whatever you do, don't forget to leave a little tick on that bell so you get notified every time I come out with more content, because I'm hoping to give you guys more of this kind of stuff, and it's going to be great. Also, if you guys want to check out my Twitch channel, I will link that down in the description. Alright guys, catch you later.